Welcome to the Global War Watch Network. Before we jump in, do me a quick favor and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on our next update on critical global developments. For years now, something pretty dramatic has been happening in Indonesian waters. We're talking about a full-on war. And no, that's not a metaphor. They are literally blowing up ships. And as you can imagine, this is creating some serious waves, especially with big players like China. So that leads to the big question we're tackling today, right? Why on earth is Indonesia blowing up hundreds of foreign fishing boats? Is this just pure aggression, a desperate last resort, or is there a calculated strategy behind all this? Let's get into it. First things first, to really get what's going on, we need to look at the action itself. And let me tell you, this isn't just a couple of one-off incidents. Nope, this is a full-blown official state policy. Yeah, this is anything but random. We're talking about a very deliberate policy. Over 300 foreign boats sunk in just 3 years. And it's all backed by law, a specific law from 2009, carried out by a special unit they call Task Force 115. The goal here? It's simple, really. It's shock and awe. They want to create a powerful deterrent that sends a crystal clear message to anyone thinking about fishing illegally in their waters. Okay, so a policy this extreme has to be a response to an equally massive problem, right? And when you start looking at the numbers, at what illegal fishing was costing Indonesia, well, the scale is just staggering. Just look at this. According to their own Ministry of Marine Affairs and Fisheries, Indonesia was losing an estimated $20 billion every single year. That is a colossal drain on their national economy. It's money that's literally being stolen right out of their waters. And if you want to understand the long-term damage, check this out. In their local currency, the total loss to the state over a decade is estimated at 3,000 trillion rupiah. I mean, that's a number so big it's almost hard to wrap your head around. It really shows why the government felt they had to do something so drastic. This wasn't just a minor issue, it was a full-blown economic disaster. So what exactly are they fighting against? Well, it's something called IUU fishing. That stands for illegal, unreported, and unregulated. And it's not just one thing, you know? It covers everything from fishing without a license, to lying about how much you caught, to using gear that's been banned, or fishing in protected areas. It's this whole shadowy criminal enterprise that doesn't just steal fish, it completely wrecks any attempt to manage fish populations for the future. So faced with this massive crisis, Indonesia didn't just wake up one day and start blowing up boats. They actually put together a pretty comprehensive strategy to take back control of their own maritime territory. You see, their whole approach has multiple parts. Sinking the ships is just the part that gets all the headlines, right? But behind the scenes, they also set up that special unit, Task Force 115. They established new national marine policy, and, this is super important, they banned transshipment. That's when boats transfer their catch to other ships out at sea, and it's a classic move used to hide illegal fishing. And if you're wondering, can they even do that legally? Well, here's the legal muscle behind the whole operation. This is a direct quote from their national law. It explicitly gives authorities the power to sink or burn foreign ships if there's sufficient preliminary evidence. And that's the key right there. From Indonesia's point of view, these aren't rogue actions. This is them enforcing their own sovereign laws inside their own borders. So, the big question is, did this super aggressive strategy actually work? Well, the results created a kind of economic shockwave with some very clear upsides and some pretty serious international fallout. Let's talk about the economic benefits because they happened almost right away. Look at this chart. In the year right after they really started cracking down, the fisheries sector's contribution to their GDP, it jumped. Pretty significantly too. It makes sense, right? You get rid of the foreign illegal fleets, and you create more room for your own local fishing industry to grow. But, like I said, this success didn't come for free. It had a diplomatic price tag. The policy hit a whole range of countries, from their neighbors like Vietnam and the Philippines, all the way to major economic powers like China and South Korea. And let's be real, sinking another country's ship, even if it's breaking your laws, is a really loud statement. It definitely created some serious tension. And that brings us right to the heart of the debate. On one hand, the policy was a super effective deterrent. It protected their sovereignty, it boosted their own economy, but on the other hand, it absolutely strained diplomatic relations and brought up all these questions about due process. It really highlights this tough spot that a lot of countries find themselves in. How do you protect your resources with force without starting a diplomatic fire? Okay, so let's pull the camera back a bit because what's happening in Indonesia isn't just a local story. It's actually a perfect example of a much bigger global fight for control over our oceans. Globally, the scale of this problem is just immense. IUU fishing makes up as much as 1/5 of the world's entire catch. We're talking $10 to $23 billion in black market seafood every single year. This isn't just about fish. This kind of theft threatens food security for millions. It devastates entire ecosystems, and it fuels organized crime all over the world. And, one of the reasons this problem is so incredibly hard to solve is because international rules are, well, they're a mess. Just look at this table. It shows the different rules for that at-sea transshipment thing we talked about. You can see that in some regions it's allowed, in others it's banned. It's a total patchwork. And these inconsistencies create loopholes that illegal fishing operations are more than happy to sail right through. It makes decisive action at the national level, like what Indonesia is doing, seem all the more significant.
So, in the end, it all comes down to this really tough question, doesn't it? Is Indonesia's dramatic policy a necessary shock to a broken system? Is it the wake-up call the world needs to finally get serious about illegal fishing? Or is it a dangerous precedent, an approach that could just lead to more conflicts at sea and chip away at international law? And honestly, there's just no easy answer to that.
And that's where we'll leave it for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this breakdown useful, please hit that like button, share it, and of course, subscribe to the Global War Watch Network. We'd love to hear what you think, so drop your thoughts in the comments below. And you can join our community on social media. All the links for that are in the description. We'll see you on the next one.